Hi, in my previous videos, most of the results that I derived, the most of the physics that I discussed was for finite dimensional vector space, like the Hilbert space that we developed, the operators, the kits, the brass, all the mathematical entities that lies in the vector space, that is Hilbert space, was finite dimensional. Now I told that it may not be true all the time. Like our Hilbert space may be infinite dimensional, that is the continuous spectra. Now what is this continuous spectra? Suppose I have a basis, like here the bases are the AIs and all the kits AI, right? Our basis is here. Right, this is my basis, and in this basis the dimension is n, because there are n number of elements in this set, the basis state. Now this number, the dimension may be infinite. Now when this is infinite, it means that for every case there are some eigenvalues. Here it is a1, there are an, so a1 a2 dot an. Now for infinite dimensional vector space, the eigenvalues will vary continuously. Okay, so it means that suppose I have this where I goes to 1 to infinity. Okay, now this infinite number of elements in this basis state have infinite number of eigenvalues, and the eigenvalues changes from one another continuously. Okay, now on the example is position. Okay, suppose x dash is a position kit. It means that when I operate x, which is position operator that represents the physical quantity. So when it operates on x dash, it gives me x dash. So this is the result, the eigenvalue. So this position, now position from this point to this point, if I say between these two points there are infinite number of positions, right? So this position, this x dash, this eigenvalue changes continuously. So for this kind of basis, for this kind of eigenkits, the eigenvalues changes continuously and the basis has infinite number of elements. So that is called continuous spectra. The equation that I derived, the many equations that I derived in my previous videos, all of those were for finite dimensional. Now I cannot guarantee, no one can guarantee that the equations that are derived in the case of finite dimensional vector space may not be true for infinite dimensional vector space, may not be true for continuous spectra. Now the case here is that most of the equations that I derived for the finite dimensional can be generalized to continuous spectra. And whenever I cannot do that, whenever I cannot generalize the results that I derive, I will say that I cannot do this. Okay, so whenever I am saying that I cannot get this thing and say this is true for continuous spectra also, it means that it is I have generalized this thing. Just like this equation is for continuous, like I runs from 1 to n. Okay, now the i's, the ai, a1, a2, ai is the eigenvalues. So but when the continuous spectra, these eigenvalues will vary continuously, right? It means that let's take two eigenvalues a1, a2 dot an. Now take these two eigenvalues. Now see that there is a difference, finite difference between these two eigenvalues. For continuous spectra, this difference will be infinitesimal, it tends to 0. So it means that the eigenvalues changes continuously. So whenever my summation, this is summation, so I am adding all the terms. When the elements that I add changes continuously, I have to change this summation into integration, right? So this summation will become integration. So I can generalize this result. I am not deriving result for continuous spectra. I am generalizing this result to continuous spectra and I am demanding that it is true. Okay, whenever it is not possible, whenever it is that I cannot generalize the result, I will say so. So here I can generalize. Okay, so it will be integration. Here it was summation because it was discrete, and the eigen values. Say I take these are the eigen states for continuous case. I have to put the kate here. So these are the eigen kates. Okay, the basis. So this is this thing. So this. Now I cannot put index because whenever I put index, it means that it is discrete. Okay. So this is for this, and here it is. Okay, and as this is summation, so I'm changing a1 to a2. Here I cannot do that because it is not discrete. So I have to put an infinitesimal element, which is this, right? So any state can be written in this form. Okay, when I take the vector space as an infinite dimensional vector space. I told that position kets and position eigenvalues and the positional operator are the example of continuous spectra. So let's take the example as this will become this. So our main state alpha will be x alpha dx, right? Now I need this equation. Now suppose I have a detector, right? Suppose say this is the, now let me put dash here. So this is x dash and it's minus infinity to infinity. So it means that the position lies from minus infinity to infinity, and you can see that this is a line, so it changes point to point continuously. Suppose I have a detector which detects the position of the particle. Now say that this is x dash and I take two intervals, x dash minus dx dash, okay, and x dash plus dx dash. Now my detector detects, says that the position of the particle lies in this region. Now I told previous that for obviously discrete dimensional vector space, whenever there is a state alpha, okay, and I do a measurement on this state. Here I am doing measurement, I am detecting the position with the help of detector. So whenever I am doing measurement and I am getting a particular result, and the result is x dash minus dx dash to x dash plus dx dash. So I am getting this result. I can get any kind of result. Okay, I may get any kind of result, but the result that I got in this particular experiment is this. So whenever this thing happened, I told previously that this states jumps into this state. Okay, so my state was in alpha state. This is my real state. Okay, whenever detecting, this whole state just collapses to these states, and all the values outside this interval is 0. It has collapsed. It has collapsed in this interval only. So our integration will become x dash minus dx dash to x dash plus dx dash, right? So now let's say that this thing x dash with scalar product with alpha do not change abruptly in this case, in this region. Okay, I can choose this because this dx dash is really small. This is infinitesimal. So I can choose that this thing is constant. Okay, now let's see that whenever I have a state alpha, okay, and I have various results for these alphas AIs. These are the results, these are the eigenvalues AI, A1 to AN, and the probability to get any one of these results as say AI. The probability of getting this AI will be the mod square of the component AI scalar probability alpha, right? I told this. So the probability of getting AI is what? AI. This is the probability to get the result AI from the state alpha. So similarly here, the probability to get the position, the result, to lie in this particular region will obviously be the component. This is the component, okay. This is the component. So this is not the component. This is the main state. So this is the component, right? So the probability will be to get the result in lies between this interval will be square. But this was discrete case, and here it is continuous case. Now let's think in classically that if I increase the interval to this and this to this and this, so I am increasing interval. So the probability of getting the position to lie between the interval will increase whenever I increase the intervals, right? This is just our intuition that it should be the case. So the probability to get the position to lie between this interval should vary with ds dash, right? So this is what? This is the probability to get the result. Now I should do this by 2, right? Because the interval will become ds dash, right? So this is ds dash, the interval, and this was the component, okay, and this is the whole probability. Whole probability to get the position lies between x dash minus dx dash by 2 to x dash plus dx dash by 2. This is the probability. Now, the probability density. What is the probability density? The probability density is the probability in unit length, right? I choose the interval a finite dx dash, right? It could be any kind of number, say 2. Now I want to have the probability with a single point, unit length. So the probability density, how can I get this? I divide, simply I divide this thing with dx dash, right? This is the probability for interval dx dash. So the probability density, which is the probability to get the result with unit interval, should be this thing divided by dx dash. So this will become right. Now so in summary I have a state alpha and I rewrite this state with a linear composition of the basis where this was our basis, which runs from minus infinity to infinity, right? And the probability to get the position with unit interval is this thing. So this has a real physical meaning, right? So I better denote this thing with a new symbol. Let's call this what is this thing called? This thing is called, as many of us know, as wave function. See, the wave function is not the state. State is alpha. Okay, and the wave function has no physical meaning because it's just a component, right? I have rewrite this state with a linear superposition of many states, the basis, the x dash, right? And the component for this particular x dash was this thing. It's just a component, it's a mathematical entity, it has no physical meaning. But whenever I do the mod square of this, it will represent a probability density. Now I can get this probability density in reality. I can have the result which tells me that this is the probability density. So a wave function has a meaning, has a physical meaning only when I mod square it. Right? So this is nothing, this is the Born interpretations, right? The statistical Born interpretation. He interpreted this and we formulated our quantum mechanics in a way that I can justify his interpretations. And we say that psi, this is called psi x dash is a wave function which has no meaning, no physical significance. Only the physical significance of this is that when I do the mod square, it gives me a probability, right? So this is the Born interpretation, Born statistical interpretation, right? So this is kind of like a weight. I told that whenever I have a state and the component represent the weight, so wave function is actually the weight, and when I do the mod square of it, it gives me the probability density. So this is Born's statistical interpretation of wave function. Now wave function will come into picture in various ways in storing equations, right? Now, this is the main physical thing, the true way to look into this wave function. Okay, so this is wave function, and it is its physical significance is this, and it represents probability which we can derive, we can get in experiments. So okay, that's it for today. Thank you.